So here we are, Kate Smurthwaite, a star.
Thank you very much. Hello. Well, yes, I'm going to do some comedy. I wanted to start by saying how much I desperately want to punch a Muslim woman in the throat. And I say that because that's what the arseholes in that building think a fucking joke sounds like. I have the weirdest job. I do stand up for a living, and the other thing I do for a living is I go on TV and radio shows and argue with idiots. And basically, this might sound weird, but about once a week, the BBC ring me up and they say, "Hi Kate, we've got a racist in the studio. Would you like to shout at them?" I'm like, okay, sure, yeah, and they totally mix it up. Sometimes it's a racist, sometimes it's a homophobe, sometimes it's a sexist, sometimes it's not even Jeremy Clarkson. Yeah, and I love coming to these kind of protest things, but it brings out to me how important the media is. You know, how important the media is in letting people know what the government is really doing, how poor the coverage is almost bound to be of our enormous demo relative to how much coverage gets given to the most trivial stories. I was reading, only the other day, I was reading a Daily Mail article because I have to, it's my job, in which Melanie Phillips was explaining what was wrong with the NHS. And do you know what her conclusion was? She decided that the problem with the NHS is modern feminism. I don't know about the other women here, but I feel like I might have missed a meeting. You know, like I was dealing with rape culture and the pay gap, took the afternoon off, and we fucked the health service. But just to be fair to Melanie Phillips, which is more than she's ever done for anybody else, let me tell you why she was angry about the NHS. Well, her mum went to hospital and she didn't like the treatment that her mum got, and that seems okay, doesn't it? Maybe she was kept waiting. Maybe she was given the wrong medicine. But when I read the bottom of the article, it said this: "My mother was addressed discourteously." Now, I'm guessing that was the gynecologist going, "I'm not touching your cunt." Melanie Phillips has been in there. And I know there's young people here, I'm sorry for using the C word, I know some people don't like it, I really like it. But I don't like using it as an insult. You might hear left-wing comedians say George Osborne is a cunt, David Cameron is a cunt, and I don't like that sort of language because I think that's an insult to cunts. Because I've got one and it's brilliant. And despite my best efforts, my cunt hasn't closed down any hospitals. It's really lovely to be here. It's brilliant to see so many of you. I was very privileged to go and talk a couple of months ago at the NUT conference about this, and it's brilliant that so many of you have come, and it's really great to see you again. The NUT conference this year just happened to be on the same day that David Cameron was stung by a jellyfish. Don't worry, I hear the jellyfish is fine. But it just shows you, doesn't it, what a lovely, warm, caring bunch of people teachers are, because every single one that I spoke to said they'd be happy to piss on him. So I'm not going to finish with a joke, I'm just going to finish by saying quite seriously, it's brilliant that you're all here, it's brilliant to get such great turnouts. Don't forget that we're not just here for ourselves, we're also here for all those thousands and millions of people across the country who would love to be here, but who can't because they have already been disenfranchised by the unreasonable austerity cuts, disabled people's carers, people who've got other jobs, people who are now working 24/7. look, if we have to be here every weekend, we will be until those guys in that building there realise that this is not good enough and we in this country deserve better. Thank you very much. See you on the 7th.
Well, thanks very much, Kate. And colleagues, I'm going to unapologetically make a plug right now for those that want to see Kate again. Because we've got a comedy gig that we're arranging. It's a fundraiser and it's an unashamedly there for raising money. These things don't come cheap. And therefore we have got the bucket collection that's going around and we've asked people to contribute. But we're also asking you to have a bit of fun. And have a bit of fun on Saturday the 7th of July. We've got a fantastic lineup for our stand-up night at the Hammersmith Apollo. Kate's one of them, Joe Brand's another. If you want to see Francesca, the fabulous Francesca Martinette again, Francesca will be there, along with Stuart Lee and Mark Steele. Mark Steele you saw earlier, well, Mark's going to be there on the 7th as well, along with Jason Manford and Marcus Brigstock and Shapri Kordansky and a whole host of others, colleagues. So that's a plug. You can get your tickets online at the People's Assembly website. There's concessionary tickets available there as well. So hopefully we can see you all on the 7th of July and a fantastic night. It will be a great night, comrades, here in London at the Hammersmith Apollo.